welcome Robert Evel Knievel.
Thank you, Robert.
You enjoyed unbelievable success in your career. Tell us about that.
Well, I grew up in Butte, Montana, worked in the mines there underground a mile, and I had a tough life growing up. I was raised by grandparents, and they just loved me to death, but I don't know how I got on the wrong tracks. I started off just being a wild person, doing things that weren't right against society. I never wanted to be told what to do. Anyway, I went on through different businesses in my life, and I finally ended up in Los Angeles, started my motorcycle show, and as time went on, I earned a lot of money, and my name got to be known. I was kind of ashamed of the Evel Knievel, but I did the Joey Bishop show one night, and he said, "You got to have the greatest name in show business." I thought it was good enough for Joey, it's good enough for me. So,
a couple of weeks ago, my secretary said, "There's a man on the phone. He says his name is Evel Knievel, and he has to talk to you, Dr. Schuller, because he's accepted Jesus Christ." I picked it up, and you said to me, "In my mind, out of the blue, came a line." You remember what you said?
Came a line?
A line, you said. You said, "A thought came into my mind, and it was, Evel, the God you're praying to is never going to give you anything."
No, he wasn't. I was empty. I was just empty. The God I was praying to was a God that I thought maybe could answer my prayers, but I didn't realize that I needed to go through a living God, and I did, and I'm just beginning to really get the feeling of Jesus Christ inside of my body, and it's grown and grown and grown. It's become such a wonderful thing since then, and the time we spent together, I just can't believe it. I'm so complete now that I'm not even afraid to get on an airplane and fly back to Tampa. That's how I feel. I never thought that I would be here, ever. I just was a person who always believed in God. There was a God, power, but I always had trouble believing in the Jesus Christ, the Son of God. I don't know why I fought it so hard. I just did. But I think maybe it was the power of prayer. Maybe God just got sick and tired of me fighting it so much. He reached out and grabbed me and said, "Look, I just want you. You've got to stop this nonsense. You just come with me." Anyway, before the Daytona Bike Week this year, I started thinking about God more and more, and I called people and talked to them. I don't know why. I just didn't. I called a friend I hadn't talked to in 30 years. His name is Eldon Wright, and he belongs to the New Hope Community Church in Portland, Oregon. I talked to him, and he called me back a week later. He said, "I've had my whole church praying for you. The whole church is praying for you." And I said, "Well, that's not the first time that this has happened. My daughter's had her whole church praying for me in Bozeman, Montana, and my ex-wife, Linda, she's had her whole church praying for me in Butte, Montana, and she's prayed for me for 25 or 30 years that I would become a Christian. I get letters from people, hundreds of letters from people saying, "We read an article about you where you don't believe in organized religion. You've got to believe in Jesus Christ." So I don't know what in the world happened. I don't know if it was the power of the prayer or God himself, but it just reached out either while I was driving or walking down the sidewalk or sleeping, and the power of God and Jesus just grabbed me. It just took a hold of me so strong, I can't tell you how strong it was. And I became a person who was just filled with Christianity. All of a sudden, I just believed in Jesus Christ. I did. I believed in him. I don't know what happened to me. I rose up in bed in Daytona the second night I was there. I rose up in bed and I was by myself, and I said, devil, you bastard, Get away from me. I cast you out of my life. I went to the balcony of my hotel room. I said, I will take you and throw you on the beach. You will be dead. You will be gone. I don't want you around me anymore. I did everything I could. I just got on my knees and prayed that God would put his arms around me and never, ever, ever let me go. I just, all of a sudden, was just overcome by the Spirit of God Almighty. And my wife, Crystal, she had been trying to help me with things I wanted, even though she didn't believe at the time. She doesn't believe like I do. She went out and got me a Bible I could read that had passages underneath the verses so you could better understand them. She went and got me a videotape called Jesus of Nazareth, which is a wonderful videotape. She got me a book called The Case for Christ, which is a wonderful book to read. And I've had so much help from my whole family. I know that there's more to life than what I've had. I wrote a book called Evil Ways. I said I've had a life better than any king, any president, or any prince. Hogwash. I didn't have Jesus Christ in my life. I was talking about the Rolls Royces I had, 5 of them. The Ferraris I've had, 5 of them. The Stutzes, the Lamborghinis, the jet airplanes, 2 of them. I flew one alongside of the other so I could read my name on the side of it. Yeah. Evel Knievel. My dad said, who are you going to impress? At 40,000 feet, at 600 miles an hour. Why don't you go down and buy a truck, drive it along the freeway? I just, the diamonds and the gold and the racehorses and the women and the booze, I want to tell you something. I've been a sinner. You're looking at a real sinner, but not anymore. You're not looking at a sinner anymore. And I've had everybody... I've had everybody in my family try to help me. My son and my wife came here today from Montana and Las Vegas, and friends that came to see me and be with me. And I'm so happy. This is the biggest step that I have ever taken in my life. Dr. Schuller is right. I'll tell you the difference between a Christian and an atheist. A Christian wants to believe. They want to believe everything about Christianity and Jesus. An atheist does not believe in God because he doesn't want to. He stays away from it. He gets mad. He doesn't want to hear about it. That's what an atheist is. Do not let us come with any patronizing thoughts in our mind to say, oh yes, Jesus was a minister of his time, or a biblical person, a person who believed in God, who taught us. He was a teacher, a great human being. Jesus did not offer us that. He didn't offer us that. He was the Son of God. He is the Son of God. And if you don't believe that Jesus Christ is what he says he is, you will surely die. You'll die in your sins, believe me. You've got to believe. Oh, you've got to believe in Jesus Christ. It'll give you... I don't know how many of you here have felt what I have felt. Let me see a raise of hands of how many of you have had the feeling that I am telling you that I feel. Oh, God bless you. Isn't it a wonderful feeling? Isn't it a wonderful feeling to say, I have a God that I can believe in, a real God that I can believe in? Isn't it a wonderful feeling to wake up in the middle of the night and say, well, I'm glad I woke up. I can go back to bed in a few minutes, and sleep. But in the meantime, I'm going to think about Jesus Christ. It's such a warm, wonderful